This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I feel like we have to start the episode off. We just need to rip the Band-Aid off.
I don't want to.
I'm sorry. We have to give the people
Thoughts
what
and
they
prayers.
want. They have been tagging us. They're concerned about your well-being.
It's been a hard year already.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I did not need this.
Bill Hader is dating Ali Wong, which... you know what? I'm not gonna say anything until you've gotten your feelings out, Christina.
Yeah, we've decided to reserve judgment until.
Yeah,
I just feel like, truly, was I not even like on the list?
Right, on the radar.
Yeah,
we've talked about him so much. I feel like there's no way he doesn't know who we are. Right. Right.
I've been thirsting for him for like 200 episodes.
Yeah.
He can't feel that in
been
the
a
universe.
long game.
He cannot feel that energy coming his way. Maybe he does
Maybe he's
feel
confused.
it.
Maybe he was like, is it coming from?
Yeah, maybe he feels it and he doesn't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
He's we got to get in the same vicinity. Somebody needs to get us in the same room.
We're in the same town.
Well, now I don't want to be a homewrecker.
Oh, true.
It does seem like...
Well, they're not married.
Well,
You get in there. You get in there. You can split up that relationship. Yeah, because listen, as much as my heart hurts for you, Christina, obviously, and I would never, you first, Christina number one,
right?
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
I know.
I like them together. I think that they're both so funny.
I'm like, it's great unless Christina hates it.
And then we're furious.
And then I hate it.
Yeah. But she's so funny and so talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, okay. And she's got like a really good relationship with her ex-husband.
Oh, good.
Like they're going on tour together.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So like,
wait, is he a comedian?
No, but she's like bringing him with her on tour. I don't know
because
if she's bringing him on stage with her or something. I don't know, but like they have a really good, amicable relationship, and that is always the greenest of flags.
Oh yeah,
me, so,
I totally agree.
Yeah. So, and I've not heard any of Bill Hader's exes say anything, nothing but glowing reviews.
Yes,
right.
Truly.
Yeah, they seem like good people.
Well, fine. I'm happy for him.
For now. But as soon as they break up, Christina's throwing a full fucking party. She's like, let's go.
Someday it'll happen. I'm manifesting it.
Yeah.
It's in your journal.
Does Eric know?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Good.
What if he didn't? What if
he's like, what?
Excuse me?
I'm calling off the engagement.
Oh no.
Christina Aguilera was on the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Okay.
And this is something, I don't know that we've ever talked about this, and it might gross Cassie out. Kind of grosses me out, but that's just me.
Great.
Spitting or swallowing?
Swallow. Always.
Swallow.
Really?
Always.
Yeah. I'm not.
Spitting's gross.
You
I don't want it out.
I don't like the
Just get it down.
the feeling.
Just good. I mean, I don't like the feeling of it. I don't want it on me. Well, unless we do. I do want it on me. And then, you know what, guys? This is really awkward because I just had my French class the other day, and I realized my French teacher actually listens to the podcast. So that was new information.
Look, you got to put that stuff away.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
You have to put that stuff away. I saw that my boss is following us on TikTok, and that's an uncomfortable situation. But you know what? Like, I'm a well-rounded human being.
I have a lot of thoughts on this topic.
Okay. On the spitting or swallowing topic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I hate spit in general. So
correct.
I don't like it's the texture. I don't want to swallow it.
it's kind of like an oyster.
I don't like oysters. I don't like oysters. Ew.
But for me, I'm like, if you spit, like it's in your mouth anyways, right?
Yes,
for both
exactly.
things. It's in your mouth anyways. This makes the mess go away when you swallow.
That's right.
Spitting
makes a mess
that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
It's easier and it's over.
That's exactly how I feel.
Like swallowing.
It's efficiency, honestly, when it comes down to it.
Yes. But not only that, I'm like, I feel like I've sucked so many dicks that like
Just end there. No, that's good.
There is like I've had it.
Just get it.
Please
Just
plug
spit it out.
your ears, Cassie. This is gonna be terrible for you. The only time that it really, really bothered me,
Is if it tastes bad?
chunky.
I heard it through my plugged ears.
No, that is so gross. It is so gross. I feel
Chunky.
like there is a thing where you're just like, what is going on with your diet?
Yeah.
Like what is going on with your diet? Well, Christina Aguilera said that she said that I think swallowing is really, a good thing. It's got a lot of protein.
Okay,
So
well, that's
this
not why.
spiked a whole conversation.
Never
where
because of that.
There was a Dr. Mara Gouthakis. I'm probably not saying her last name right. She is a doctor, an Oxford-based sexual health person. And she said, first of all, there's nothing wrong with swallowing. No shame.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like it's totally fine to do, but that there's really not that much. There's like all kinds of things in sperm. There's like zinc, there's vitamin C, but not as much as you would think.
Vitamin C.
But not as much as you would think.
And it's not like you're not getting like.
Can't use it as a mask.
Oh.
I want to get rid of the dark spots.
That shit was perpetuated by men. I remember there was a whole era where they were like, sperm's good for your skin.
It's as much calcium as in a banana or whatever. Or
Potassium. Yeah,
like,
and they're like, it's great for your skin.
Of
you should use it as a face mask. No, it isn't. Shut the fuck up. You just want to come on somebody's face, and you want to convince them that it's
like,
good.
Let's just have that conversation.
Just have the conversation if that's a thing you like, and then we can decide.
Don't tell me it's good for my skin.
Don't fucking trick me.
Don't fucking gaslight me into thinking that it's good for my skin.
But in terms of protein, she says you're going to get maybe 1/4 of a gram to 1/2 gram of protein, depending on the man. So on average, you're getting about 250 milligrams of protein, which by contrast, you would get 3.6 grams in an egg white.
Yep.
So it's like,
I'd much rather have an egg white.
It is not enough protein. Don't let anybody trick you into thinking that you're doing something for your health. This is not a wellness situation.
No.
Okay?
No.
Okay.
Fitness is my passion.
Yes. We're annoying,
Deep Throat Club.
you guys. No, I really hate it's the texture.
Yeah, of course.
I really don't like. It's so viscousy. I don't like it.
Viscosity.
Get it out.
But then when it's out,
I don't want it going down my throat.
I don't want it out in the open.
Same.
A mess. Ew.
Oh, so you carry it?
But fast. You're fast. You're speedy. You're speedy.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, the worst time is when you let a dude come on you, and then when you're laying there
you're
and
cold,
you're waiting for them to
waiting
get
for the towel. It's you look
and
like a broken
bring you
toy. Yeah.
in your 20s, because this is always what happens in your 20s. They bring you that crusty hand towel that's been in their bathroom for like ever. It's like threadbare, kind of stiff.
Yeah.
And they just,
if you're lucky,
scrape it off.
It's like a bench scraper.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always a very sobering moment.
Yeah, the post.
Anything post-coital is very sobering.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're like, what the fuck did we just do?
Yeah.
Never speak of this again.
Never.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I really hope my boss doesn't listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put it out there. Like parents, grandparents, grandma.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should title it "Spit or Swallow."
No!
just to really
just
get it out of the way.
It should be one of those like that they used to
Parental
put,
Advisory.
Parental Advisory. Yeah, that they used to put on the CDs back in the 90s.
Oh my
just like
gosh.
Parental
And
Advisory warning.
made you want to buy it. You're this is going to be good.
I do feel like if my mom saw a parental advisory for something that I was doing, she would not participate. She doesn't want to know. It's not like she's a 12-year-old at like Best Buy or Circuit City, like looking at a Dr. Dre album.
Yes,
like
exactly. The Chronic 2001.
Yeah,
You're like,
so good.
She'd be like, I will take that parental advisory seriously. I don't want to hear whatever you're saying.
No.
We don't need to know.
Yeah, that's between us and our thousands and thousands of
Our listeners.
Yeah.
They appreciate it. Right? I need to know. Am I in the minority? I probably am.
Of a split.
I don't think so. I think it would probably be pretty evenly split.
I bet it's evenly split.
Yeah.
I don't think that either are necessarily bad. I just think it is. I think probably most people who suck dick, I don't know that it's ever like, oh, I can't wait to get that cum in my mouth.
Right. I mean, it probably is for someone. Like,
maybe.
there's someone's
people that
thing.
are like
definitely.
totally, into
that's someone's kink. But like, yeah, for me, I just, you know what? This is kind of a weird thing too. I think it has to do for me as well with it like being in you, like in your stomach.
Got it.
Because I'm like, I felt the same way about when I
watermelon
found
seeds.
No, did you think not watermelon seeds? But I felt the same way whenever I was a kid and I learned about like yogurt, like healthy bacteria that's like alive. Yeah. When I learned that it was alive, I was like, I'm grossed out by that, and I think I'm grossed out in the same way. I just never got over it mentally. That I'm just like, I picture little swimmers.
Just swimming in your tummy?
In my tummy.
I told my sister that English muffins like were made by yeast farts. And
what?
She won't eat them. Well, because that's what the
is
bubbles.
A fucking yeast fart?
The bubbles are the yeast farting, and that's what makes the air pockets.
I felt the same because I bake bread and I use yeast as well, and same situation where I'm like I get over it. I got over it. I eat yogurt. I make bread. I see the yeast foaming up and stuff like that. I know that when it doesn't foam up and when the bread doesn't rise, it means that the organisms are dead. So I know that they're alive. Like, I get it. But that too, when I found out that yeast was living, it grossed me out. Like, and I think it's the same
thing.
Yeah. With sperm.
Yeah.
Like, where I'm just like, I want it out. I want it out. I don't want it in.
I did have a friend, entirely too young to be, bobbing for cock, but
why don't we name the episode that?
No. But she had a pregnancy scare because she swallowed, and I'm like,
honey,
bitch, it don't work. If you don't know,
you're not old enough.
You're not old enough.
You're not old enough to be sucking dick if you think that you can get pregnant like that. It's the same people who are like,
am I pregnant?
Am I pregnant? It's the same people who are like, we can't have sex in a hot tub because it's warm. So it's like the sperm can travel.
No, and you can't get into a hot tub where people have had sex because you might get pregnant, right?
Yeah, I might get strange pregnant. Yeah, like mystery pregnant, immaculate conception.
Oh God.
No, Mom, I haven't had sex, but I did get into a hot tub.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God. Off the rails. Well, I don't know how to transition this.
No, there is nothing.
All. There's nothing except to go away from this. Mm-hmm. We did talk last week about doing PBS hotties.
We did.
Oh my gosh.
We did.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad you remembered that.
Oh,
we have
wrote
to
it
do
down.
Bill Nye. I was at the gym the other day.
Was Bill Nye PBS?
I feel like Bill Nye the Science Guy was on PBS. I don't know.
I think so. Well, if not, I mean, it's the same vibe.
Okay.
It's the same vibe. It's educational public TV.
Because you got like Bob Ross. I think David Attenborough counts because of...
Yeah, David Attenborough
That's
counts.
where we watched.
I think he's more BBC, but yeah, he counts as PBS for us. Yeah. I was jogging on the treadmill the other day and they were showing like I guess Bill Nye was going to be on the local news the next day. It was like all Bill Nye compilation, just like over and over. I love him.
I love him.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Rick Steves.
And he's
done.
Yeah. He's from what you told
Rick
me.
Steves Europe.
So
he does like
a travel guy.
Yeah, travel guy.
That's right.
Total nerdy travel guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Bob Vila.
Nice.
Bob Vila.
Okay.
Bob Vila, I think it's 2 L's, Rick Steves, and Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Oh, is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Christina? Or Keegan?
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely. You got to put Bill Nye in there.
All right.
This is
I
interesting.
know what I'm going to do.
This is a good one. This
is
tough.
good. This is actually really tough.
And I want one of them to be my friend. I am refusing to Kay.
I think I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to marry Bill Nye.
Okay.
Like, I'm just going to marry. I think he is... Well, I did meet him that one time and he was so nice. Mm-hmm. And I just think that he has a real respectful vibe about him too. Like even whenever he's like telling somebody like that they're dumb, he's doing it in like a really like
he's trying
way.
real hard.
He is. Yeah. And I just think he's so smart and just seems really lovely.
Yeah.
So And he doesn't take himself too seriously. Like
Truly.
he just walked in Fashion Week and he's silly.
I love it.
And like
Love it.
I think it's sweet. So I'm gonna marry Bill Nye.
Who you gonna fuck?
Possible hot take.
Vila.
I'm gonna fuck Bob Vila.
Okay.
Yep.
There is a vibe, and I don't know what it is.
It's
where
a
I'm
bit
like,
rugged.
He's good with his hands.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like that man fucks.
Then I think
knows
I have the
he
hottest
has
take.
tools.
Yeah, I feel like
And oh my God, the money that you would save when you're renovating a house.
handy as hell.
Handy.
Yeah. I am gonna fuck Bob Vila. There's just an energy there.
Yeah.
Rick Steves, amazing because you'd get to travel. He knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Very smart.
Very smart.
And not like in a way that like he talks down to you.
No, he's got like he's
got a full vibe.
Giving Ned Flanders though. A
Yeah,
little bit.
I get
He's
it.
a little too
Safe.
straight laced,
Yeah.
which is funny because Bill Nye, but Bill Nye has a goofy guy energy.
Don't steal all my thunder.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Because I'm gonna fuck Bill Nye.
Okay, yeah, he's got goofy guy energy.
You know he's a freak in the sheets.
Oh.
That motherfucker screams freak in the
He's
sheets.
got skinny guy strength.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, definitely.
There's something behind that bow tie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
He's
feel
fun.
like this
You know.
episode is really not okay for most people. But there is a feeling that I have that Bill Nye is like hung.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Like,
100%.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
surprise. You're gonna be like,
whoa, man, dude, like popping
Yeah.
your jaw and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
He
God.
wore out.
yeah. I do. I get that
Wore out,
sense.
tore out.
Wow. Wow. I don't like that. I really wish you hadn't said that. I don't love that.
Really upsetting,
It's a little bit upsetting. I don't like that.
especially when thinking about Bill Nye. I watched that guy.
We forgot about Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh,
Okay. But we did stay from Blue's Clues not that long ago. I
We
feel like.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
'cause that's another one that I'm like has that Bill Nye energy.
Yeah, he fucks for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
100.
I'm gonna marry fucking Rick Steves.
I feel that
don't,
for you.
Don't be silly.
yeah.
We're gonna
Travel
fucking
everywhere.
we're gonna push our glasses up and
Go to all the museums.
actually
Yeah.
each other to death,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the best,
Yeah.
best life.
Yeah, I love that for you. That makes sense.
I am torn, but I think, I want somebody that can do things around the house, like
Yeah.
You're
build
gonna marry
really
Bob
cool
Vila.
shit. I'm gonna marry Bob Vila.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cozy fucking
Yeah.
interiors.
You
That
have-
is what I want.
You
Yeah.
have a real nice fireplace.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
He'll build those
custom
boxes
mantle.
for the garden,
Yeah.
like raised
oh,
beds.
Yeah, raised beds. Yes.
And there's just something about the
a real
smell
cottagecore
of
vibe.
like lumber and sawdust. Like
Yeah.
seeing him work out
He
in the
smells
garage.
like a man.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, wow, that was really like
Yeah.
gender normative of me to say. But you know what I'm saying? He smells
Yeah.
rugged. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he smells like nature and
Yeah.
wood.
Possibilities.
Yeah. So I'm gonna marry Bob Vila, and then I gotta fuck Bill Nye.
Yeah.
Gotta see
Like,
what's going on under
yes.
that
Yes.
bow tie. We need to know.
Yes.
I feel very
tie.
weird about it though, I have to say, because like Bill Nye, I went to a math and science school when I was in elementary school, and like Bill Nye would get wheeled in on that massive TV on wheels.
Yeah.
We watched so much Bill Nye, so I feel very strange. Like maybe I'm working out some like
Deep
some issues.
inner-
Would you make him wear the lab coat?
Oh God, no.
I'd make him wear the bow tie,
Just bow tie.
just the bow tie.
Oh God, and socks. You know that motherfucker's got sock
Oh
suspenders.
yeah. And he Bill Nye has a collection of goofy socks. You know he does. He's
Oh,
got a
of
drawer
course
of like
he does.
goofy socks.
Bill Nye likes records.
Yeah.
I bet you he's got a great record set up.
I
Bill
bet
Nye
he's in
can
bourbon.
Bill Nye is going to be able to explain like the space-time continuum to me in a way that like I understand.
But
He's
without
going to-
making you feel like he's
but without
talking
making
to
me
him.
feel stupid. Like, and he's
Yes.
going to explain like why we're living in a simulation.
Oh.
And I'm going to be like, that makes perfect sense. Thank you so much.
I'm like,
No,
should
you
I
made the right
marry-
choice. You made the right choice.
Yeah.
did.
You can't. You gotta.
You can hang out with my husband and talk about those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And I will talk to Bob about gardening tips.
Oh, totally.
And Rick and I will be in France.
You'll be FaceTiming from elsewhere.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
Well, we do have a new patron. Very exciting. Want to give a big shout out to Stacey Haney for joining us over on Patreon.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, thank you
Welcome,
so much.
Stacey.
Welcome. Let us know anything that you want to see on there. If you have any suggestions, we are always open. Our DMs on Patreon are always open. And then I wanted to give a second shout out to Michelle Duwaudy, who has come back, rejoined us on Patreon. We see you. And we appreciate you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we know that in these trying times, TM, that we are deeply, deeply grateful for your support. So thank you so much, Stacey and Michelle.
Thank you.
You guys keep the podcast going.
Honestly.
You guys are literally, why we do this. So we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Let's do it.
And we're back.
I will go first. This story was written in by a listener. She says, subject is my last OkCupid date.
Uh-oh.
So
Yeah.
She's like,
This is
it's
the
so
final straw.
bad. It's so bad that she quit the app.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
we all have one of those.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, longtime listener and Patreon supporter. I thought it was time I sent in another submission because this story has been weighing on me. Met the last guy I would ever meet on OkCupid. Let's call him Dave.
I have a feeling it's not because she married this guy.
No.
We went on one date that was okay, but I was into giving it another shot. However, that's where things got needlessly complicated. While Dave said he couldn't wait to see me again, when I asked him when he wanted to go out, he started getting really anxious, saying he hated making plans, so he would let me know.
Okay, calm down, sir.
I feel like we recorded our shorty, and that woman who's just like, I'm not dating another Libra, just got up and walked away. I feel like this would be like my red flag, where it's just like, I don't like making plans. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work.
Yeah,
no.
exactly. She says, I'm a planner. I need to know where I'm going and when I'm going because my anxiety likes to know these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But being the people pleaser I said I was okay with going with the flow. I hate that go with the flow. I hate that saying.
You hate the term.
I hate it.
You're like, I don't like going with the flow, and I don't like the term.
I like going with the flow about
too.
some things. But this kind of thing, whenever you're meeting someone for the first time, it is a highly anxious situation. You want to know, and like we've said many times, what you're doing dictates what you're wearing.
Right.
I'm not going to wear tennis shoes if you're taking me out somewhere nice to eat for dinner. I'm not going to wear heels if we're going to go on a walk in the park. So give me a vague idea.
What's the vibe?
What is the vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably the most go with the flow.
Yeah, you're
in
pretty
general. I'm
easygoing.
pretty, I'm like, I can switch gears pretty easily. But yeah.
No.
But I understand that not everybody is. That's a
No, I like to have a plan.
Yeah.
Or at least a general, I think Wednesday night will work and I'm thinking some restaurant or whatever. Great. We're close
a
enough.
general outline.
That's fine.
Just
yes,
a general
outline.
I don't need a pitch deck.
Yeah.
Deck on our date or
All
anything,
right.
but yeah.
It's going to be a restaurant inside. Okay, great.
Okay, great. At least I could get to know him more over the phone and text, right? Nope. Immediately, our once frequent texting back and forth turned into me trying to force a conversation that felt like it was only about him. He showed no interest in how I was or getting to know me further. So why did I continue this? Because I was stupid and thought we had a connection.
You're not stupid.
No. Yeah.
No.
They were frequently texting. Everything was
You were
amazing.
reading the
They
right cues.
went
Right.
on a date that went okay, and she was willing to give it another shot. And now this guy's backing off.
Yeah.
Which, it happens. I hate a slow ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Just rip it off. Yep. Anytime I would try to ask to meet up again, he would turn me down saying he wasn't feeling up to it, even though I would see him post on Facebook asking if anyone wanted to meet up for a movie.
Wow.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That is so rude. Just say, you know
it.
what?
Right. What's the
I'm
fucking
not
deal?
feeling it. You're
Right.
really nice. It's just the
not
vibe
my
isn't
thing.
there.
Yeah.
Because that's torture to do to someone.
Oh, just wait. The only time he would ask me to come and see him is when his mother would have friends over. Yes, this man was almost 40, lived with his mother, and wanted me to come over so he didn't feel awkward about hiding in his room to avoid her friends.
Are you kidding me?
This went on for
Are
3
we
months.
16? Because that is some
Honestly.
16-year-old bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, that
What a
is
turn
gross.
Off.
Yeah, I'm so turned
That's
off.
awful.
It's done. I've
Ew.
locked it.
Ew.
I've shut the door.
Yeah.
I've locked the top lock and the bottom
This,
lock.
this man is not
She done.
attractive enough to be slow ghosting you at all.
And pulling this kind of fucking behavior. So I finally broke after the last time he invited me over to avoid his mom's friends because I told him I could go, but it would be a few hours later. His response was, no, that's okay. They'll be gone by then. I had had enough of this silly bullshit and went off on him, saying it was clear he never wanted to actually see me again and was only wasting my time. He, of course, blew up at me and said this was why he didn't like being in relationships. And at that point,
First of all, we're not in a relationship. Thank you so
No.
fucking much. Secondly, you are almost 40 living with your mom. If you can't handle any kind of like the tiniest amount of commitment,
then
that's a fucking you problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Enjoy being just, alone living with your mom and hanging out with her friends. Have fun.
So she says, so I moved on, met a guy, and we started dating. I was happy. Of course, Dave had to pop up again.
Ugh, zombie.
Started texting and flirting with me and talking about finally seeing each other again. I found it very funny that the second I stopped showing interest in him, suddenly he was back into me.
No.
Now, I should have just told him that I had already started dating someone and he missed his chance, but I was torn between being angry because I felt like I owed him nothing and scared because I was afraid of his reaction. And I had every right to be because about a week later, he called me at 1 a.m. crying. He had been stalking me on Facebook and saw pictures of me out with my boyfriend and lost it. I had to endure a long conversation with him where he begged me to give him another chance.
No.
How embarrassing.
That's so embarrassing.
Yuck. And by the way, you don't have to endure that. You can hang up and
Yeah.
block.
block.
Hang up and block. Yeah. Saying how much he liked me and thought we had a future together. What?
How? Where?
Where? At your mom's house
Yeah.
avoiding her friends.
No.
When that didn't wear me down, he started throwing a tantrum going on about how I moved on too fast and it wasn't
Jesus.
fair
None of
that
your
I was
fucking
with
business.
my boyfriend because quote unquote I was here first.
Okay.
Okay. Dibs.
Okay.
Dibs. I licked it. It's mine.
Okay.
Ew.
Fucking gross.
This man literally
Let's stop
sounds
calling
like
him a man.
Yeah, he sounds like a 15-year-old. Seriously.
Yeah, until
Like, this
she
is so childish.
put the age in there, I was thinking much younger.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Much
So
younger.
child. It's so embarrassing. You are grown.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He swore he would never stop trying to win me back. And when I told him that sounded creepy, he scoffed and said I should know he meant it. I don't know how that could not be creepy. It's been 7 years and I just got another friend
it.
request
Stop
from
it
him
right now.
on Facebook.
It's been 7 years. This man is in like
Sir.
his mid-40s now. No.
Sir.
No.
I miss you on Facebook. After 7 years, you guys.
My skin is crawling.
Oh, that's
crawling.
9-1
That's
fucking one.
creepy.
I don't like that.
Right?
I don't
I
like
miss you?
that.
What is going on in
Who
your life
dis?
that 7 years later, I can't, who was I dating?
I don't even know.
You know what I mean?
I mean, obviously
don't-
my husband because we've been
Yeah.
together.
I don't even know.
I don't even know who I was dating
But
7 years
seriously,
ago.
like even like a few years ago, I'm like, if you had me like gun to my head, name all the dates that I had, I'm dead.
No
I'm
one.
dead. I remember so few of them. Wow. Now.
Yeah.
So
No.
getting
Gross.
finding them on Facebook and sending them
That
a message
man
that I
is
miss you.
A
that is-
walking red flag.
that is a red flag.
Yeah,
that is a red
hate that.
flag.
Thoughts and prayers. Stay safe out there.
No shit.
Woof. All right. So this story came to us through our Instagram and they say, "Hey ladies, I have been listening since 2020 and my friend introduced me to your podcast to help ease the monotony of lockdown. I've since listened to every episode and look forward to new ones every week to accompany on my lunch run. Thank you so much for being part of my weekly routine for years. I seriously love you three. Talk about parasocial relationships.
Oh, we love you.
I've been meaning to send this in for a long time, but always felt self-conscious about my writing ability. Anyway, here's one of my worst. It's titled pandemic worst date.
Oh,
I love that these are rolling in now.
the pandas.
Yeah.
And by the way, your writing style is nothing to apologize for. So just FYI. After going through a pretty rough breakup with my ex, who I was in lockdown with in 2020, the early months of 2021 was the season for cautious dating. I unwisely turned to the apps again and matched with a guy who had a really cute face. Like seemingly everyone with the privilege of a remote job. He just moved into my fast growing but small mountain town to get away from the crowded city. Right off the bat, our banter was really witty, joking about starting cults and second comings of Christ. And dark and clever
Love
is
it.
my sense of
Okay,
humor.
we
I love it.
We love it.
Yeah, perfect already.
He is risen.
Zombie Jesus. Not wanting to lose momentum in the app texting phase, we agreed to meet up next at a food cart pod. So I'm assuming it's like a place where
Yeah.
so we could still be outside. And even though it was winter and really fucking cold, over the app, he told me before we met, quote, I have to tell you 3 things in the spirit of honesty. 1, I'm not liberal. 2, I'm not vegan. 3, I'm pretty submissive. The first 2 items were responses to the content in my profile, but the third one seemed unrelated and random. So I thought,
It's a sex thing.
Oh, but she says, maybe I'll just have to pick him the restaurants and order food for him.
Okay.
I have an open mind. And none of those things felt exactly like a deal breaker to me. When we met, I could immediately tell that he was not the 5'7" that he'd advertised. He was actually almost shorter than me, and I'm 5'5". He did still have, which, by the way, we've talked about this.
Just be
You're
honest.
going
Be
to
honest.
be meeting this person.
Yeah. What did
Just
you
say
think
the
was going to
truth.
happen?
Truly. He did still have that cute face though, so only a few points deducted. In person, it was pretty clear to me we didn't have the same chemistry as we seemed to have online, but he was nice enough, so I'd see where this went. We got our food and quickly found out that our tolerance for being out in the cold was low.
Yeah.
So we decided to go to a new grocery store in town and walk around.
That sounds like a pandemic
Panda.
date. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
just like you're
It's
like,
like
I don't know, we're
only-
not at home, so that's good. You know, like
Go to the grocery store.
yeah,
and walk around the
Yeah.
aisles because what else is there to do in the first winter of the pandemic?
Yeah.
Do you like hamburger helper?
yeah. Dude, I saw that.
So are you a barbecue or salt and vinegar?
Some guy on a podcast, a man with a microphone,
Oh Lord.
was saying that taking your date to Target on a first date was a good idea.
Okay. Well, see.
And his reasoning was like, first of all, he didn't say this, but basically the vibe was bitches love Target. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
No.
We
He's not
do
wrong.
love Target.
We do.
Yeah.
And that like you can get a sense of like the things she likes and you can buy her stuff. And I'm like, I hear what you're saying.
I gotta be honest. This does not
However,
sound like a bad date.
I do not want to go to Target on a first date. Do not take me to Target.
No, it
on
sounds like a
first
chore.
date. And I typically don't even like going. I don't want to go to Target by myself. That is a solo activity. I am wanting to browse on my own.
I think I feel the same way.
I kind of am too.
Like Eric.
I don't even like to go to Target with friends.
I want to shop alone. I want
to spend some time.
What do we need to get here? I'm like, whatever it
need
tells
anything.
me to get.
Whatever Target speaks to me.
And we
Yeah.
go
the spirit of Target.
every aisle.
every aisle.
Yeah.
I don't
Except
know
for,
what I
like,
need.
Yeah.
Yeah, Target will tell
knows.
me what I need.
Exactly.
I don't
right.
want to go with you. I don't want you judging me.
Right.
What
For
I'm
spending my
picking up,
entire
okay?
day here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't take me there on a first date. Anyway,
no, you're
we're
right.
totally
You're right.
off.
Okay.
But
All right. Over the course of the short evening, he casually dropped some highly personal information. His struggle with body dysmorphia,
Okay.
steroid use, addiction to opioids, and attempted self-harm.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
That's-
really,
I want people to be
really dove
I want to
into-
destigmatize all of those things
Of
and for people
course.
to be open to have those conversations. It's a lot on a first date.
That's exactly
at
right.
a grocery store.
And you also
the
like
grocery store. Yeah.
you
probably
don't
doesn't
know
help.
if that person, like for me,
Also-
when I hear like really personal, intense stuff as an empath,
Yeah.
like I take it on. It
Yeah.
feels very like heavy. And I'm like, I don't want to carry your shit. I've got a lot of my own
Yeah.
shit.
Not on day one.
It's
for
not
sure.
the
Day
right
one.
time.
Yeah.
It's not the right time. I want you to be able to share things with me. Like that's
For sure.
But
and honesty is great, and good communication is all of these are good things. However, on a first date, it feels very
right. And you should bring those things up if they're relevant. Like if you're recovering from something and you're like,
I don't want to go drinking.
I can't go drinking, or that's a trigger food for me because I'm recovering from an eating disorder. Whatever that is, that's relevant to what you're doing in the conversation. But just to be like, here's all my baggage, all my trauma, like all at once.
In the grocery store.
Yeah. In the bean aisle or whatever.
Legumes.
While all of this was in his past, and to be completely honest, some of it was very relatable, revealing that much within a fairly short first date feels like a lot.
Yeah.
For me, the real drop was when he said he's submissive in relationships. Mm-hmm. He meant he likes getting pegged.
Yeah.
Not yucking anyone's yum. But again, that's a lot to know on the first date. I love that her first inkling was like, oh, by being submissive, he means I'm going to be picking the restaurant.
He means I need to be the one to send the mashed potatoes back.
I immediately was like, oh, this is a sex thing. 100%.
And I have to say, that is something that I'm like, she didn't understand what he was trying to say, but him being upfront about that before they met in person is actually like not a bad idea.
Yeah.
No.
Like if you have a sexual, we've said it before, like just be honest, if you have a sexual thing,
but the mix-up is the best part.
The mix-up is the best part because in his mind he gave her the ability to be like, I'm out. I'm not.
That's not really my thing.
Not my thing.
Not to yuck your yum. That's just not my deal. Mm-hmm. But she says, I immediately felt silly for assuming he just wanted me to pick the restaurant.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the night, he presumptuously informed me he wasn't going to sleep with me on the first date.
Oh,
it wasn't on the table.
Thanks.
And there wasn't a second date. I mentioned it's a pretty small town. He did end up joining my gym, and now I see him and his new girlfriend there very often, and can't help.
And you know what's going on in the sheets. Mm-hmm. That's why you can't be that open in a small town.
Yeah,
you cannot be that open about your sex shit.
Yeah,
because now I know.
Now you know.
I know.
Yeah, I know what Natalie is doing. With you, sir.
Wink, wink, Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Natalie.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Every Natalie feels very uncomfortable, right? Listening to this. Okay. This is also from a listener. We've got 3 for 3 today.
Yes. Keep them coming. Please, please, please.
The subject line is, he didn't warn me about grandpa.
Oh no. Oh, well.
I love that subject line.
Parental advisory.
Right.
Oh. No.
I was 15 and had started dating my longtime crush and was invited to his house after church for dinner with his family. How Midwest is that?
So Midwest. Tracks
This
so hard.
was not a big deal to me because all the kids in my church group knew each other's families well, and I had hung out at his house a bunch of times.
We know this.
So fucking relatable.
It's completely relatable.
I can like literally see the kitchen too.
Yeah.
It's like one of those old like Tuscan ones. It has a bunch of like
dark
chickens.
wood.
There's chickens. That's what
So
I was
many
thinking.
chickens.
Yeah, dark wood.
Roosters.
Definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It has definitely like a family in fancy script kind of like.
The wallpaper border.
Oh my God.
Home is where love is, or whatever it says.
Home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
Come on. You know.
We were chilling in the basement, listening to Incubus, trying to work up the nerve to make a move on each other when his parents called us upstairs. His grandparents had arrived, and we were all going to greet them at the door. I had not met them before, as they lived out of town. My date, his 2 sisters, 11 and 13, and parents were standing at the door, and the grandparents were walking up the driveway. His mom says, "Did you warn Lindsay about Grandpa?"
No. Oh, no. Oh, no. What's the warning?
He hadn't told me anything about his grandparents. I immediately started to contemplate what I could need to be warned about.
This is always, though, like the biggest complaint that like women have in straight relationships about men is like their inability to share
vital information.
Yes. And it's like, you'll ask them follow-up questions and you get nothing. You're like, how did you not ask another question to figure out? Like,
girls are out with it immediately.
Yes.
If my parents, grandparents, any family member does anything remotely weird, you're being
100.
warned.
Yes.
You're being warned before we get there.
Absolutely.
100% of the time.
If it's a guy, no.
Yeah. We open the door and there are his normal looking grandparents. Both white, gray hair, in their mid-60s. Grandpa is only about 5'6", non-threatening. They step non-threatening. Just throw that out there.
Yeah.
They step inside, and his mom introduces me to them. I expected maybe a handshake, but instead,
No.
Grandpa starts tickling me.
Oh. Oh my God. I did not expect to be so triggered.
Cassie just lost her mind. That was so intense.
Don't. No.
And when I say tickle, I mean more like jabbing his fingers into my ribs and wrestling me down onto the couch.
No, you fucking pervert. Get off of me, you fucking psychopath.
That is weird. Why are they letting
Why are you
Walter
molesting
doing
me?
that to strangers?
And like everyone knows because the mom is like, did you warn her?
No.
About what? This is just what Grandpa does.
Grandpa molests everyone? Fucking psycho.
He
Get
proceeded
off of
So
me.
fucking
He proceeded
awful.
to greet my date's sisters the same way.
No.
I was in total shock. Grandpa got further with me than my date.
Wow.
And his mom was aware that her dad would do this to me.
No.
So I grew up in Iowa, and we were super Christian. So I ended up marrying this kid when I was 19 so that we could bang without burning in hell.
Wow.
Girl.
Look,
Relatable.
This continued to happen every few months when I would see his grandparents, even after we were married.
I am hugging myself so tight. I can't.
Give yourself that hug, girl. Finally, one day I had had enough. I was too meek and shy and whatever at that age to tell a motherfucker to stop. So I came up with a plan. We got to his grandparents, and as soon as we greeted them at the door, I started tickling Grandpa in his ribs just as hard as he had done it to me.
There you go. There you go. What's
And-
good for the goose
Yeah.
is good for Grandpa.
Two can play at that game, motherfucker. Okay.
No.
And he never tickled me again.
Good.
And then he died.
I am so, dude, we are so unhinged today. Jesus Christ.
Then he died, and I got divorced. And then then I had a really fun hoe phase in my late 20s.
Girl, yes.
Right at the dawn of Tinder when I was living in Chicago. I'm
wow.
lucky I'm not on Dateline with some of the Craigslist, Tinder, and
Craigslist.
and Ashley Madison shit I did.
Girl, get it. Oh my God, you got to DM me.
Right, you got to share more stories. That's why I was like, we need those stories.
I need
the
the
tea,
tea.
all the tea. I need all the tea from your hoe phase.
Sorry, what? She said, then he died.
Now I'm married and have three kids and live in the bubbly of sparkling waters Santa Clarita.
I love it.
But I drink blue LaCroix and pretend it's Coors Light. I've been writing this email to you guys in my head since 2018.
Amazing.
Also, your voices tend to alternate in my head as my inner monologue voice.
Amazing.
I love that.
God.
You mentioned some people don't have an inner monologue voice. Those are alien hybrids. Okay, that's enough rambling. Love you. Bye.
Oh my God. Well done.
I love the way she wrote this story. I love
I
that she
am
through in all that
crying.
stuff at the end. That's like
Yes.
just callbacks to previous
That is
episodes.
so
I love
wonderful.
it. I love it. I love it.
I love the fact, like, all three listener stories. That was fantastic.
Yes.
Everybody
So
that
love it.
wrote in.
Oh,
That's
so
just-
good.
I
Incredible.
like my stomach
She
hurts
said-
from laughing.
She said, and then he died.
oh my
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No.
God. Seriously.
Wow.
You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Yes.
That's good. And we're back.
Okay. I've got the Tainted Love this week. And I've already given up the ghost and let you guys know what it is, which Keegan is familiar with, but Cassie is not.
I do not know this.
So
Yeah.
get ready to go on a wonderful adventure with us. So I'm going to start off with a quote.
I love this.
Stephen J.
Like
Russell.
a documentary.
This is a love story. It's about what a person will do who is in love, who can't see the forest for the trees.
Oh.
Love is, I mean, we'll talk about it, but it is the weirdest
It's a
emotion.
weird-
because it hijacks. It's like a limbic hijack, 100%.
Yep. So Stephen J. Russell was born minutes before Friday the 13th in 1957. 5 days later, he was handed over to a conservative couple in the hospital parking lot for cash and off-the-books illegal adoption.
Oh, my God.
And he...
Off the books child trading is just... What?
In the 50s, they're like, you want this baby?
Yeah, I got a good
Here you go.
baby. Grade A white baby over here.
That happened to my dad's dad. That's how he got into the Connor family or whatever.
That's wild.
We don't know who his real parents were or anything like
That's
that.
wild.
It's like, this is the 50s.
When I was adopted, I was 3 days old, but my parents picked me up in a hotel lobby. So
But
that feels weird.
That was all on the up and up, though, right?
That was on the up and up. Yeah.
It still feels weird, though.
It is weird. It's just like, well, I don't know. Other than doing it in the hospital or like some kind of clinical setting like that, I don't know how you don't make it feel weird, because it always feels like a drug transaction.
That's
like
right.
You're handing over a
child.
Yeah, it's weird.
Here's your baby.
There you go.
Bye.
So he wouldn't find out that he was adopted until he was 12 years old. He would later find out his mother had given him up because she had just divorced his father and did not want to raise a child out of wedlock. Russell would
50s.
later track her down only to discover that she had remarried his father and had given birth to 3 other children with him.
Oh my God.
Each of whom were Russell's biological siblings.
That would be a tough thing to learn.
Yeah, he would later say he felt rejected and had problems when he found out. As the news of Russell's origin spread to younger members of his family, some of the cousins used the information to begin taunting him relentlessly.
Kids suck.
Yeah, his retaliation
So ridiculous.
moved straight past words to violence. He burned down a garage belonging to one cousin's family, set fire to a classmate's jacket at school, causing extensive damage to the wall. And that led to 30 days in a hospital psychiatric ward, followed by 9 months in the Hanover boys' home.
I mean, there does seem to be quite a fixation on fire, which is concerning.
Yeah. But it's just, it's all
Somebody
that
who
to
needed
say
therapy.
He had a, I feel like when I read this that there's a lot of things that maybe, that feeling of rejection and everything, not processing that, and maybe like his love, his like obsessious love comes from just like wanting to be accepted.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
it really informs later on. But yeah, so at 18, Russell joined the family produce business, and in other circumstances that might have helped stabilize him. But in his case, it sucked him into a deeper criminal world, because for years
In produce?
yeah,
Like the underground produce trading?
exactly. Russell's adoptive father had been conspiring with other Virginia companies to fix the price of produce sold to school districts.
Wow.
So it's like
that is some hilarious shit. It's like the
vegetable mafia.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hilarious.
So over the next several years, Russell's just like, okay, I'm like all American. I'm going to volunteer as a reserve deputy for the sheriff's department. I'm going to be close friends with the chief of police and marry his secretary and have a kid and, do the whole thing. I'm working for the produce. Everything's on the up and up. I volunteer. I'm
Produce mafia?
Yeah.
Exactly. So he convinces his father actually to up the ante on the shady dealings. He's like, I got an idea. You can price fit, like you should pull this shit on the government. So they do.
Wow.
I feel like that's bad advice.
Like military outlets.
Don't listen to this kid.
Yeah.
He burns shit.
Yeah.
And like the government, you don't just
They're not
leave
going to
the
let you
government.
get away
you
with
can
that.
avoid fucking around with the government. You should.
They're
you know?
Exactly. So the government is like quickly figures shit
course.
out.
Of
They're
course
like,
they do.
yeah, no, tomatoes don't cost this much. Like you're
weird.
under arrest. So they issue indictments against like all
Tomatoes
these
don't
different
cost-
produce companies.
These tomatoes don't cost as much. You're under arrest.
No.
yeah.
No.
I'm going to do that at the grocery store next time. Tomatoes don't cost this much.
Yeah.
You're under arrest.
Eggs don't cost this much. Don't be silly.
you're under arrest.
You're under arrest. Straight
Yeah.
to jail.
Straight to jail. So Russell's father had to make a deal. He cooperated with the investigation, pled guilty to conspiring to rig bids, and paid a $15,000 fine. But Stephen escaped indictment completely, giving rise to speculation that he had rolled over for the feds. So he decides, since this rumor's out here, I'm going to fucking skip town because I don't want the vegetable mafia coming after me. So he moves to Boca Raton, Florida, where amazingly he's hired as a patrolman specializing in DWI arrests for the Boca Raton Police Department.
They have a specialist for that?
It's Florida, so probably.
Okay.
But after only a year, Russell was fired for repeatedly calling in sick while attempting to obtain another law enforcement job with the Florida Highway Patrol. So they returned to Virginia. He soon...
Wait, his wife is with him?
His wife and kid are with him.
Ugh.
So he's like, Florida's not working out. Let's go back to Virginia. Maybe the dust is settled.
Every time I hear a story like this, because we've heard, several where like, they moved here and then he dragged his wife somewhere else. I'm like, what person is just like, this is fine.
I like moving. Like, no.
I like moving awful. Because like you can't hold down a job.
Yeah. So yeah, he's having money problems and soon he's arrested in Virginia for stealing jewelry and computers for which he only receives 5 years probation. So they move again.
Wow.
I'd be like, you can. I'm staying here. Bye. I'm tired.
But now he's falling back on what he knows best, produce, and he gets hired by Cisco.
Oh.
It's a well-paying job, and it requires they relocate to Houston. So Russell sets off for Texas. Debbie, his wife, and his kids stay behind.
Yeah.
They're like,
enough.
we're tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you go set up. If it's going to last, then we'll come meet you out there. Kind of thing.
We don't trust.
We don't
trust you.
But as soon as he's alone in Houston, he's like, the metropolitan areas, he's like, I had no idea. And he...
Bright lights, big city. Let's go.
And he is going to unleash who he truly is.
Oh, wow.
A thing that he had kept hidden for years. He began spending lots of time in Houston's Montrose area, known among other things for its large homosexual population and abundance of gay bars. So he is wilding out. He's like, I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Yeah. So his wife and kid finally joined him like in 1985.
And he was like, womp, womp.
I know. And for 15 months, he managed to keep his sexual encounters with men on the down low. But 15 months later, after returning from an evening of wine, cocktails, and sex.
And cock. And cocktails.
Yeah.
Lots of cock and tails. He combined speeding with running from a traffic cop, hit a railroad crossing at top speed, and rolled his Corvette numerous times.
Sir.
Yeah. He like fucked himself up. So Debbie nurses him back to health, but is also like, honey, like, this is not working out. He tells her that he's gay, and she's like, great, I wish the best for you, but this is not gonna work.
Honestly, she's like, thank you.
Thank you.
Like,
I'm gonna
setting
move
me
someplace.
free.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye.
So he's just bouncing around the country at this point. He's racking up indictments for state insurance fraud in Texas for faking injuries at various business, because he claims that he got fired when his work found out that he was gay, and during this time period, it's probably very true.
This could be true, yeah.
So he had to fund his lifestyle. So he has an IQ of like 163.
Wow,
incredibly intelligent. So he just scams. He's a scammer. He's a con man. He's like doing slip and falls, doing like all these different insurance fraud, federal passport fraud. He fled to Florida again rather than face those charges. But then in Florida, he basically like fell off the law enforcement radar while working in the tomato brokering business.
Oh,
I fucking told you.
Back to produce.
And there he found even more opportunities for crime. He also met the first like boyfriend, serious boyfriend he would have, James Kemple. And for a time, they had a great time being like a couple in Florida. They would go to the best hotels, restaurants, all of this stuff. And that all ended when he received notice that he had been ordered to report to a federal prison in Oklahoma in March 1992 to begin serving his sentence for passport fraud. So this is now when we get to what Stephen J. Russell is truly an expert at, and that is escape.
Oh, wow.
Russell's determined not to stay in jail. You cannot hold him down. He just found out who he was. He found this great guy.
It's the second act of his life.
Yep.
And not only that, his boyfriend is actually, he was diagnosed with AIDS. So he's in Florida and he's dying. So with another inmate's help, Russell got his hands on some Free World clothes. And he just
world clothes.
Yeah,
Free
just
people.
Free people.
Not the brand.
Not the brand. Yes. He's just very stylish.
Yeah, just a bohemian chic. Yeah.
He put on his Free People and he managed to snag a walkie-talkie, and then he just like knocked on the door and was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And the guards let him out and he got out.
Wow.
Has anyone else tried that? Because
Yeah.
I mean,
They just, you got to guard to open the door. He was wearing the outside clothes. He was wearing Free People.
he
so
was
they're
wearing-
like,
Yeah.
you don't belong in jail,
yeah,
sir.
no.
This is not a jail outfit.
what is that, like a $300 cardigan?
So then for the next 2 years, he's out and Russell and Kemple just like ping pong around the country. They do so many scams, an incredible amount of scams, including high level corporate jobs. They steal
he and
from
his
a
partner?
fast food place in Florida. And this is also while he's pulling down $85,000 a year with NutraSweet in Chicago. Like he's working a regular job.
And we're talking like $85,000 a year in like the late 70s.
Yeah.
In the this is early 90s.
Oh,
at this
90s.
point.
We're
But
in the 90s. Still, that's a lot of money. In like
90s money.
In 90s money. Yeah.
But he starts charging he was filing like bogus expense reports and stuff and insurance fraud all over the place. So I'm like, man, how do you have the time? I am too lazy to do this many cons.
Yeah, same.
Right?
I'm too lazy to be a criminal, period.
Truly,
I just don't
truly.
have the energy or attention span for it.
No.
I can't.
So they finally get caught, but Kemple, because he's starting to get so sick, he was given a compassionate release and went home and died in 1994. But Russell went to federal prison in New Jersey and went to work on a new scheme with his lover as inspiration. He's like, okay, I am going to die of AIDS.
Okay.
So an incarcerated doctor coached him on how he could fake the symptoms, stop eating, lose weight, become incontinent, and he used a prison typewriter to falsify lab reports. So apparently, looking near death, Russell petitioned federal authorities to drop the charges against him, and they did.
Wow.
I mean, that's dedication. It's diabolical.
Yeah.
But it's dedication.
But he still faced charges because remember, they're scamming all over.
Yeah.
Scamming all over. So he ends up, they're like, okay, we won't press these charges against you because you're so sick. But Texas is like, oh, but we will. Like, come on, son.
Oh, yeah. Texas, Texas don't give a fuck about that at all.
Like, come on. So he's in jail. He's convicted for just 6 months in Texas. And he's sitting there like waiting to see what's going to happen next. And that's where he sees in the law library the love of his life. This attractive, tiny blonde man named Philip Morris. And they just connect immediately. Like Morris confessed to Russell that he had spent a good deal of his time in the past as the boy toy, like being abused. And so they like connected on stuff and they really like truly fell in love. And Russell promises, like, once they're out, once you're paroled, like, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to, like,
I'm going to be
lavish.
your daddy.
Exactly. And he did. Russell served the final 3 months of his sentence as a model prisoner, got out, got a job, and posing as an attorney, expedited Philip's parole.
Posing as an attorney.
Listen, he's smart.
He's smart.
Very smart. So with straight jobs never quite paying enough for the lifestyle that Russell felt like he deserved, he went back on the circuit as a con. He got a job, made it more lucrative by cheating, and listen to this job that he got. So he was able to, this is a brilliant con, I think. He put an ad out in the paper pretending to need somebody to hire an executive. And as he got resumes, he stole bits of this resume. And that's how he gets hired as the CFO of a large, Fortune 500 company.
What? Wow.
And to this day, they still say he's like one of the best employees we ever
in the world.
Because he's smart. Just because that's what's so flawed about our fucking system.
It is.
Though,
Yeah.
too, because
it is.
Yeah, people who are absolutely qualified for certain positions aren't going to get them because they didn't have daddy's money to help pay for them to get into law school or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the scam that he pulls there is like, he notices that they're keeping a lot of their cash reserves in an account that's not accruing interest. So what he does is he moves it over to something that brings in an extra few $1 million a year.
And he takes the interest.
And he's like, and I'll just take a cut of it.
Yeah.
I'll just take a cut. A little
because they won't notice.
A little taste.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, to be
That's
honest,
smart.
I'm still making you more money than you were making before. So
and I'm just going to take some of it.
Yeah.
Well,
nobody's using this.
Nobody's using this.
It's fine.
But yeah, he gets discovered. He was caught and jailed and sprung himself. So this is another escape.
Wow.
He manipulated the jail phone system to route a call to the district clerk's office, identified himself as a judge, and lowered his bond from $900,000 to $45,000. And he wrote a check and was out.
Some people are just built different.
Wow.
Some people are just built different. Because like I
don't have the balls for that.
No,
I would love to think I did.
I would roll over immediately.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
the
second they were like, "Are you sure?" I'd be like, "No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
And anytime he got out, the thing that's so funny is like, of course they were embarrassed by how many times he got out, and he got like, that he got one past him, but they would always find him because he always went to Philip Morris. So they would just,
keep eyes on Phil.
And he's going to show up. So they caught him every time.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal if he escapes. We'll find him again.
So they do find him and they catch him. And this time what he does is he managed to sneak a doctor's ID badge.
Amazing.
And he got a bunch of green felt tip markers in art class. And so what he does is he takes the ink and puts it in a tub of water and turned his white prison uniform into green medical scrubs and walked out again.
Wow.
To get the right shade too, like that.
Wow.
He did have the tip. If you ever need to do this, he said, don't squeeze it out because it will leave streaks.
Yeah.
So just let it sit, and it worked. He got out.
Holy
That's amazing.
I know.
Wow.
I mean, you have to like hand it to, like there is like a level of respect.
Oh yeah.
Where you're
right.
just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he gets out, he hooks up with Phil again. They're caught shortly after. And this time he's like, you know what? I'm going to resurrect an old classic. It worked before in Florida. I'm going to see if it works in Texas. So he started to pretend to have AIDS. He starved himself, forged medical records.
I feel like the one to go back to is the free people clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no, I mean that's just so much easier.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So yeah, he actually ended up like convincing them, which I'm like, you don't think to give this motherfucker a test?
like a blood test.
Right.
You know
Nothing.
how to
No.
test for it.
They're
it's
convinced.
the 90s.
And so he arranged a special needs parole to a private medical facility, and then called them and was like, he died. So he's like, okay, he's out free.
You know, I would like to say because
wow.
It's pretty like. It's
Wow.
pretty fucking crazy.
because this is the 90s. It's not like the 50s where it would be like, oh, well, a phone call does it. You know what I mean? Like there are other ways to check on people. What is going on? You have computers.
Yeah. So Houston's like, oh, I guess Stephen Russell is dead. So here's the mistake he made. So while out on the run, Russell, who's determined, like Philip Morris ended up going to prison a lot. Now, Philip Morris says he did not know that Stephen was running like all these scams and everything like
How?
that. And he was not involved and that he is a victim.
Okay.
So, but I'm like, I fucking know everything Eric does. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would know if he was scamming.
I mean, I don't know, because people have secrets.
Yeah.
Obviously, we wouldn't have a Tainted Love section
That's true.
if they didn't. Like, you don't always know everything that people are doing. I think sometimes, like you told the one about the Green River Killer's wife who had no idea.
Yeah.
And I believe that she had no idea, you know?
Yeah,
And so
I did believe her.
I think that can happen. This, however, this is not a section of his lifestyle. This is his lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like his lifestyle is scamming people.
Yeah.
And going to jail.
And you're like
it's
literally
first
living on
thing
the run.
under special skills.
Yeah.
Is
Scammer, grifter.
Con.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, Cass, they are living on the run. How did he not know? Why did you think you needed to get up and move every second? Like, no.
Yeah. So, Philip's in prison. So Russell, who had just basically, told the prison he was dead, managed to make up an attorney's bar card. And then he called the unit where Morris was serving his time, posed as a judge, issued a bench warrant to have Morris move to Dallas so he could visit him disguised as his attorney, Jean-Louis, without being recognized.
Jean-Louis. Why would you come up with such a conspicuous name?
Jean-Louis. Sir.
So they fucking track him down and arrest him, So
You fucking idiot.
And this time,
Smart idiot.
Russell was then sentenced to a total of 144 years.
Wow.
You gotta put this motherfucker
Honey, you're
in a
done.
maximum security. You have to.
Oh, they did. So they put him
Oh no.
in what is called the Polensky unit on a 23-hour lockup, only having
God.
1 free hour a day to shower and exercise to prevent him from escaping.
Well, I don't like that.
Yeah, he's in solitary and was. His release date was supposedly July 12th, 2140. Now, he was given parole this year, February 7th, 2023.
Christina.
He is awaiting his release date, but he was actually given parole.
Wow.
And Philip Morris still feels like he's a victim in all of this. Served time in prison for supposedly being part of his schemes, which he denies. He claims at one point when he was supposed to be getting out, Russell made sure he stayed in so that Philip wouldn't leave him. And although he's on Russell's visit list, he has not gone. Russell, again, his release date hasn't been set, but he has done interviews saying he's still in love with Philip, but is apologetic about what he put him through. And that is the love story of Stephen J. Russell and Philip Morris, immortalized in the movie I Love You, Philip Morris.
It's a good movie.
Starring Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Just watched it again last night. It's pretty fun.
It's fun. It's a good movie.
Wow.
I mean, that's so insane. Every time I hear stories like that, like this guy or the Catch Me If You Can guy, I'm just amazed.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how your brain works.
Just the balls. I read the Catch Me If You Can.
Did you hear he made it up?
That's
What?
Yeah, I just heard that.
Yeah.
That they said that he made all of it up.
That wasn't true?
No.
It's kind of disappointing because I
it's
really
so
liked that book.
disappointing.
The inception of con, isn't it?
Wow.
Being conned about being a con artist.
You
Isn't that wild?
little
I literally
sneaky
just heard
snake.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. But yeah, anytime I hear about
Conned on the con.
con people,
You know what freaks me out the most? The ones that pretend to be doctors.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Dirty Johns.
Dude,
Oh,
you
my
Or no, what was the one where it was
The
the
fucking back surgery
Yeah,
one?
the
That's
spinal
still
surgery.
The most terrifying
So
podcast
awful.
I've ever listened
Yeah.
to in my life. I was
How could you?
sweating.
Yeah.
Just the audacity to be like, you know what? I can fucking do it.
I can cut into somebody's spinal cord. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There has to be something missing, right? Like some kind of gene that fear gene or whatever it is that ups your heart rate if you're trying to walk out of Claire's with a chapstick you didn't pay for. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that, whatever that is.
This motherfucker would just be like, all right, I'm ready to go, and just walk. And they're like,
Christ.
okay, sir.
Wow.
You just have to have enough authority.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself
Walking with
enough.
trust out.
Walk with purpose.
Yeah.
And no one will stop you.
And-
they said that. Maybe I shouldn't share that.
No,
but,
don't.
Okay.
If it's a good one, don't share it.
all of his crimes and everything that he did were just to get money to fund his lifestyle. He wanted
With
to have a good
him
life
and-
with
with
his
Philip.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
He wanted to do nice things.
Wow.
Which one was which? So Jim Carrey was Russell, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
Ewan McGregor was Philip Morris. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Woo-wee wow.
It's a good one.
Well, what are you watching? Yeah.
Well, I did watch I Love You, Philip Morris,
Yes.
which gave me the idea to do the story. And I think A lot of TikToks, really.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
this week has been
I've been on a brain candy
Succession,
roll.
though.
Oh, Succession. We haven't talked since we'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yes.
This last season, what a magnificent show. And kudos for ending on a, high note, not overstaying your welcome. I always respect that.
Yeah.
Me too.
The actors are so good.
So good.
They're so good. But I've been on a brain candy situation this week as well. And I have just been watching The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Wonderful.
I'm catching up on Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm on the most recent season. That's an underrated Housewives franchise.
Potomac?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think it's underrated. I'm like, these women are because they're DC women.
Mm-hmm.
They're all black women, which,
I thought they canceled that show.
no, Potomac
Oh my
is still
God,
on.
it's still on?
It's on the 7th season. I love it. Like, I like the Black Housewives. I'm like an Atlanta and Potomac girl. They are so messy. They're so fucking messy.
I did see RuPaul Drag Race this season finale.
Oh, that's right.
And it
Oh,
was,
yeah.
and my girl Anitra came in second. However, I'm very, very impressed by Sasha Colby. So
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Look it up.
Yeah. I'm in a reality TV phase right now. I just need brain candy. I don't want anything too intense
Right.
at the moment. So Real Housewives is.
there you go.
Well, I watched my version of Brain Candy, which is Action. That movie Ghosted came out last night.
Oh yeah. You wanted to
I was
see
like,
that
are you
with
kidding?
Anna
Yeah.
de Armas?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So good. I mean, I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's exactly what I wanted. It was lots of action. It was
The trailer
a little bit
looked,
of
it's kind
funny.
of funny. Yeah. The trailer looked right up your alley.
Oh yeah, it was great. I loved it. I did hear Chris had said that like some of the feedback critics said that they didn't have chemistry, and I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. I think they have great chemistry.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, and Anna de Armas. Yeah,
she's so pretty.
So
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's embarrassing
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
How pretty she is.
Like
Wow.
honestly, how dare you walk around like
seriously.
I'm disgusted by how pretty you are.
Well, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have more bad date stories, if you want to just reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. Also, if you can, leave a like, leave a review.
Yes,
we would really, really
please.
appreciate it.
I want to see a new review. I
Yeah.
do. They make me so happy. We've had a hard time. Mercury's in retrograde. There's an eclipse happening. We need some.
Bill Hader's dating someone else.
Do it for Christina.
Honestly.
Bill Hader is dating someone else. It is a sad time. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we love you so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.